Okay, the next forming method that I would like to share with you is coil building. Again, a very elemental way of forming, but one that gives us great potential to make really any form we want and also to increase our scale. I have literally coil built forms that are 9 feet tall, so there's no limit to what we can do except maybe the size of your kiln. I'm just going to take a patty of clay and lean on it to squash it out to form a base for the form that I'll be creating. I'm going to make this one about 14 inches tall. And what I've done is create a template for the form by drawing half of the vase. And then I've cut out in cardboard, stiff cardboard, the negative of this form. This will help to guide me as I build this form up from the bottom to the top. I'll be using a banding wheel for this. It's also possible to work simply on a slip of newspaper on a tabletop. That will spin for you enough for a coil building. What I usually do is squeeze out a rope of clay to get me started on my coil, and then I'll roll it with both hands. Again, I want to use my whole hand from my fingertips to my heels of my palms as I roll this clay out. And I'm not only moving my hands back and forth, at the same time I'm also moving them side to side. Okay? That helps stretch the coil, and it also helps to keep it even. For this type of forming, I like to start with coils. They're at about the thickness of my thumb. And I'm going to score the base that I'm attaching this to. Score the coil. And get a little bit of slip on there. The first coil I'm going to lay on and firmly press it, scored edge to scored edge. When I get around, I'll cut that. You may wish to score that a little. And again, firmly press that together. Right away, I'm going to take my template and look at the direction that I need to go. Now, on this pot that I've created, it has a foot that flares out at the bottom. So right away, I need to pinch this to match that angle. From there, I will add another coil. This time, I know that the form will start going out. So I added that scoring line to the outer edge. First, I'm getting that coil firmly attached. Again, you can score that seam. And I want you to be able to see, I'll do it with my left hand, how I'm really getting those two coils integrated. Okay, all the way around, make sure that the coil is integrated on the inside, and then I'll go from the outside, working those together. Now, because I'm working with coils that are relatively thick, I can also pinch this form a little bit and stretch that a little taller, making sure that as I pinch it, it's going in the direction that I want it to go. Probably in the video format, this is going to look like it's happening very fast, but it is a slow and contemplative building technique. So give yourself some time with this and patience. It's very important to stay focused on your piece and the stage of dryness. Make sure that if it feels like the clay underneath is collapsing and not able to support what you wish to add to it, let it rest. Give it a little time. Cover that edge and let the rest of it stiffen. As I pinch this a little thinner, I want to continue to bring that in so that it will continue to follow that edge. And to bring it in, I draw that coil closer together while lifting up. So I don't know if you can tell what my fingers are doing, but they're working the clay toward itself on that edge. So it goes in and up. But as you notice, this form is a bit bumpy. There are several ways we can smooth it out, and also to help kind of get the form back into round. And paddling is a favorite. Paddling can get a little out of control if your form is very soft, but once it has gotten leather hard, it really can help direct the clay and smooth out your surface. Again, a wooden kitchen spatula also works well for this. Okay. We can also smooth out that pinched texture, if you like, with a rib. So what I like to do is go diagonally across the form because the lines tend to be horizontal. Many artists who use coil building like to allow the coils to show, and that can also work well. Just make sure you integrate them really well on the inside. There are some great examples from history. Ancient Japanese pots from the Jomon culture are beautiful examples of coil built work that allow the coils to show. Okay, this will need to rest again. This edge is just a little too soft. You can see how it's bending to add more to safely. So I'll just double check that contour. And then I'll cover the edge with plastic, and we'll get back to this in a little bit. I brought out an easel so I can show you the best way to lay on coils when you're building a larger form like this. So here's my profile that I aim to shoot for, and there's the bottom of the pot. As I'm coil building and adding on, I'm actually adding the coils a little bit more toward the inside of the form, because as they are pinched and spread wider, the natural tendency is for them to spread out. So I don't add the coils following the profile exactly, but I'll add them a little bit more toward the inside. And then they get smoothed together, and as they get pinched, they tend to spread out to the profile that I'm seeking. With a little experience, you'll get to know exactly where to place the coils. So now, as I go back to this piece, and I check my profile, looks about right for now, I'm going to add the coils right on top, maybe even angling in just a little bit with this next coil. The most important thing is to knit the coil to the piece below. Then I'll work on the form. Okay, again, check it with your template. Find the direction you need to go. I need to come in just a little bit. So as I pinch this thinner, I'll also draw that clay upward and in.